Hi, Kirill Stavrev here, attorney at law from Berlin, Germany, and welcome. And in this video, I want to show you how you can buy property in Germany for dirt cheap, the smart way. This is actually part one. Now, very often in Germany, people have to sell their property because they are in financial trouble, and the bank that has the mortgage is putting enormous pressure on them to sell the property. However, they're simply not willing to sell it right now because they believe that the price is too low, and they believe that if they can wait another, let's say, 6 months or a year, they will get a far better offer. And trying to get the property for a good price is really hard because they're fighting with the bank, they're fighting with you, they're not providing information, they're simply trying to kill the deal. However, in this video, I'm going to show you a really smart way that you can use in some cases to get a property for dirt cheap without twisting arms and without applying any pressure. It's just a very smart approach. Okay, here we go. Just approach the seller and ask him for how much he'd be willing to sell the property within the next year or within the next 6 months or whatever. Okay, just ask him, okay, how much would you be willing to sell this property for? And if you, for example, want to buy the property for 200,000, but the seller would be willing to sell it for 230,000, make sure he tells you that. Okay, make sure he tells you, well, if somebody offers me 230,000 within the next 6 months, I'll definitely sell it. Now, once you have this information, you should ask another question. You should ask him how much a buyer would most likely be willing to pay within the next year or the next 6 months or whatever the time frame is. And he'll maybe tell you, well, I believe that I'm able to find someone who'll be willing to pay 250,000, for example, for this property. Okay, now if you don't necessarily want to keep the property, if you're fine with selling it at a higher price, you can offer him the following deal. He will sell to you the property for the lower price, for example, for 200,000, the price that you're willing to pay. However, if he finds someone who is willing to pay, let's say, 250,000 for the same property within the next year, he'll get 30,000 more. That's exactly the money that he wants to get in addition to the 200,000 that you are offering, and you'll get 220,000 for the property that you've purchased for just 200,000. Okay, now that's a win-win situation for both of you because he still got the chance to get his price, to get his 230,000. And since you don't want to necessarily keep the property, since you're willing to sell it once again if somebody offers you a good price, well, you'll be benefiting as well. Now, you have to make sure that your lawyer puts this into the contract. He finds the proper wording, which isn't that difficult, in fact, but you have to make sure that this happens. And you have to make sure that your bank won't have any problems with this. Usually, if you finance with a bank loan, you'll have to pay a penalty if you repay the loan, before schedule. So make sure that it's okay with your bank, and make sure to figure out if and how much taxes you'll have to pay when you sell the property within 6 years or 1 year after you've purchased it. So make sure that the figures are okay for you, that you have all the costs and expenses. But if the figures are okay, you may have a real deal, and especially if you believe that the seller won't be able to find someone who is willing to pay that price, well, then you can definitely close the deal and be absolutely sure that you've purchased the property for a really low price. Now, If you found this video informative and if you want more information on real estate investments in Germany, you may want to check out my free special report. Now, this report is something that I've put together where I included just everything that you have to know when you want to sell or buy property in Germany. So, the one and only thing you have to do is just click on the link below if you're watching this video on YouTube, or simply go to my website. It's stavrev-attorney.info and grab a copy of my free report. That will, and I promise you, this report will save you a lot of costly mistakes and a lot of trouble. Now, enjoy it, and I wish you a very, very successful real estate business in Germany. Bye bye.